Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to Sports Today. We bring you this video segment every single morning to help you catch up with things that have been taking place in the world of sport whilst you were catching up on some all important rest, because let's face it, whilst you and I need sleep and really the whole world needs sleep, the world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other going on. And let's start off today's edition of the morning wrap with, of course, talking about the match that took place last night in the T20 World Cup. Sri Lanka versus South Africa. A classic for the Asians, it definitely was not, and it should come as perhaps no surprise whatsoever that the pitch in the Nassau County Cricket Stadium in New York has absolutely come under the scanner big time. In fact, it's led to a lot of criticism from a lot of former players and current experts. You have Harsha Bhogle who tweeted saying, listen, it's one thing if you have a drop in pitch, but what exactly about the outfield? That's not drop in, is it? The outfield, implying that the outfield quality in itself is not very good. Irfan Pathan also said that this pitch is not ideal for T20 cricket. Chamara Kapugedra simply tweeted saying, this pitch with 3 face palm emojis. Safe to say it's not gone down well with a lot of people, although surprisingly enough, there has come a little bit of defense for the pitch. And surprise, surprise, it comes from Heinrich Nokia, who had figures of 4 for 7 in this particular game. He said that, listen, he was speaking after the match, and he said that, listen, it doesn't always mean that there needs to be 26s in a game to make it entertaining. There's still a lot of strategy that goes into the game, the skill, whether it's sixes or fast bowlers or spinners. So I thought the game was a brilliant game. It was still a close game, another wicket or two, and things might have been different, and we, that is South Africa, might have been in a bit of trouble. Now, point well taken, but if we've been hypercritical of extremely batting friendly conditions, and I think it's fair that you are extremely hypercritical also of conditions that are very much favored towards the bowler, because in a sport like T20, or in fact any really format of cricket, you want an even contest. A batting friendly pitch pretty much takes the bowlers out of the equation, and a bowling friendly pitch in this particular case will definitely take the batters out of the equation as well, as we saw, much to the detriment and of the game that took place at the Nassau County Stadium. Meanwhile, a little bit of India focus now, and given that you're now only about a day away from India's first game of the T20 World Cup, there's been plenty of people making their own versions of the playing 11. Sunil Gavaskar's playing 11 is a pretty interesting one in the sense, and I'll read it out to you first before we discuss why it's so interesting, and we'll do another video in detail to decode, let's say, what exactly it is. He's picked Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to open, Yashasvi Jaiswal at 3, Suryakumar Yadav at 4, then Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja and Shivam Dube, giving you batting till 8. After that, you've got Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah and Arshdeep Singh, meaning that in his 11 there's no place for a Mohammad Siraj, which does kind of make sense, because again, if you have to pick, Arshdeep seems a dead set starter, because again, he gives you a left arm option with the ball as far as the seamers go. And if it's a choice between Bumrah and Siraj, well, then you're definitely always picking Siraj. No two ways about that. Now, a bit more T20 World Cup news, and then we'll move on to sports beyond that. Afghanistan have stolen a march from the rest of the teams that are in their group, because they ended up beating Uganda in a comprehensive fashion. They beat them by 125 runs, thanks to, of course, some good batting from Rahmanullah Gurbaz and Ibrahim Zagran up top. And thereafter, Fazal Haq Faruqi cleaned up Uganda to ensure that there was never any doubt as to where exactly the match is headed. A 125 run win, by the way, gives them a massive net run rate boost. In fact, we'll quickly go over those figures as well, because it really is a very good victory for this Afghanistan side, given the group that they also are in. So as things stand, Afghanistan have a net run rate of, get this, plus 6.250. Wow, 6.250 is what they have. The next best is West Indies with a net run rate of plus 0.411. That tells you exactly how big a thing this is. And this, by the way, could put a big dent, let's say, for New Zealand or West Indies, because at best they seem to be competing for second place, assuming, of course, Afghanistan can continue their momentum. If Afghanistan can win about 3 games of their 4, then they are all but secure qualification, because their net run rate is just that good. That is exactly how things are when it comes to them. Switching focus now from the world of cricket to the world of football, and England, who of course will be one of those teams who will be looking to reduce their squads, because they've announced a bigger squad than what is permissible for the next 2 friendlies that they'll be playing, ended up romping to an easy 3-0 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina, thanks to goals from Cole Palmer, no surprise, Trent Alexander-Arnold and substitute skipper Harry Kane. Now, it's a pretty big decision really for Gareth Southgate as to who he picks and who it is he leaves out. And he himself has admitted that it's going to be a very, very tough decision because he doesn't quite know what exactly he would have to do when it comes to leaving out who and picking who. One thing is for sure, there will be a dearth of left back options because really there's only Luke Shaw at this point in time who's fit. So if he gets injured, and we know that tends to happen to Shaw, man alive, that is a bad situation for England. They'll be forced to play one of their right backs at left back. Also, another bit of football news, Chelsea have officially confirmed the signing of Enzo Maresca as their new manager. That means he will be the 7th manager in 2 years at Chelsea. Wow, talk about a turnover. And Maresca, in case you're wondering who he is, we'll do a bit of a detailed video on him later on as well. He's someone who's a former, he's someone who's an acolyte of Pep Guardiola. He's, coached alongside him at Manchester City. He was their assistant coach in the season that they won the treble. He's also coached in the youth levels for City. Then his only major job really has been coaching Leicester City, and he won them back promotion to the Premier League at the first try. So interesting to see how it is he goes at Stamford Bridge, because again, it's a big risk. You're taking someone whose only potential at this point, there's nothing proven. He's not a proven manager in the least. So we'll see how it is that goes. A little bit of French Open action because it is tennis season in Paris. And of course, we've got a big win from Novak Djokovic, who once again showed the mentality that he possesses is next level. He ended up shaking off an injury to his right knee, came from behind to beat Francisco Cerundolo. Of course, it was 6-1 at first, then 7-5, 6-3. From there, with the injury, 7-5, 6-3 is how he won the next 2 sets. So Djokovic definitely going to be one of those to watch out for, if assuming that injury which he's facing isn't too bad. Who it is that he'll be taking on? Well, Casper Ruud, who ended up, continuing on his own bid for making his 3rd straight French Open final when he beat American Taylor Fritz in a 4-set game. That didn't really last that long because again, it wasn't a 5-setter. So you could say it was advantage Ruud, especially if Djokovic's injury doesn't go. But if Djokovic is fully fit, you best believe that is going to be a non-contest, but still an exciting game to watch. Another bit of interesting news, Alexander Zverev also survived a bit of a scare because he had to endure a 2nd straight 5-set match when he had to down Holger Rune in a last 16 tie that ended early in the morning really. And it happens to be one of many situations in the French Open wherein you've seen a game end up going that long, which is a bit unfortunate. Djokovic, one of his games finished very early parts of the morning. It's not good really for the players, for the fans, for the organizers. Everyone loses out, and perhaps something needs to be done to ensure that they can counter this in the future. Last bit of news before we wind things up, and Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty are going to be in action in the Indonesia Open. Now that is of course a tournament that's got Super 1000 in the BWF, and it also happens to be a tournament where Sat and Chi happen to be the defending champions. So they really want to go ahead and win that, because after this really there's not that much time now. The countdown is very much on as far as Paris is concerned. And Sachi have had a bit of a mixed year. When they're good, they're very good, but they also tend to lose out easily, or there are times when they end up crashing out. So it'll be interesting to see how it is they go in Indonesia, but they'll need to win and win big to take some winning momentum into Paris. And that's it from us on this edition of the Morning Wrap. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate you rocking along with us. And if you like our work, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell, leave us a comment, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X and Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports the Cap, and if you're already on the channel, well then go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well, and stay tuned, we've got plenty more videos coming your way. For now, from my side though, it is goodbye.